Oh, busy times, man. This is crazy. We have so much to talk about. If you were watching last week, Fandom United, a blockbuster podcast, we had to cut it short last week due to a work emergency. And so we're going to touch on some things that we didn't get to talk about last week with X-Men 97 episode 3 and now episode 4, or is it 4 and 5?
It's
I
3 and 4.
3
Yeah.
and 4. We got X-Men 97 episode 3 and 4. We're going to talk about that Spider-Verse short that released last week. We're going to talk about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, finding its director, some big time Marvel Fantastic Four reveals and what it means for the remainder of the multiverse saga. Matrix 5 is in development. So is Dune Messiah. No surprise, right? Because we all enjoyed part 2. But I am joined by one half of Bartley and Barnes, Mr. Jacob Bartley. Jacob, what's going on, man? How you been?
Been all right, man. Just, living life, working, trying to enjoy myself when I can. But in between, watching a lot of good stuff. Um, yeah, I actually just finished that MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios book. I just finished it like an hour and a half ago.
Well, let's talk a little bit
um,
about that. What'd you think?
yeah, I really enjoy the book. Like I said last week, if you're an MCU fan, it's a must read or a must listen. If you are a movie fan, I highly recommend it. If you want to be a producer or in on movies, or you love movies, want to work in the movie industry, it is like a very insightful, uh, view on Marvel Studios and how they came to be and how they maintained and how they faced a lot of adversity, like that the average fan does not know about. I mean, people like us know about it because we pay attention to the major news stories and they talk about it. But and then there's also things I never knew. So it's fascinating. It's interesting because it went. I didn't know the book was so recent. It went pretty far up. Like it covers things past the release of the Marvels,
Hmm.
which is relatively recent. So I think it came out in late 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure the exact release date, but it yeah. So it's not like, hey, this is MCU from 5 years ago. Like it's pretty recent, and yeah, it kind of, what it did for me as I was listening to the book. Uh, it brought me back to those days of when those movies were coming out, and it
Hmm.
like kind of gave me that feeling like, ooh, like that excitement of the MCU again, and just movies and comic book movies in general, but specifically the MCU. And then like once I was finished with it, I was like, damn, I can't wait for the next Marvel movie, which is obviously Deadpool and Wolverine. But even past then, like I can't wait for New World Order and the Thunderbolts and just anything coming forward. And then like it's not, and then it also makes me just look forward to like Superman. I guess I was going to say Superman Legacy, but it also makes me very much look forward to Superman. Not only because it's just a comic book property, but also James Gunn's history with the MCU and how all that came to be, and how like hypothetically, if Disney didn't fire him at that time, hypothetically he could have still been working for Disney in the MCU, like basically being Kevin Feige's right hand man. But because of that, in the book they say DC won his loyalty. So even though he went back to do Guardians 3 to wrap it up, um, he was, after that he said he was going back to DC and going to stay there. So yeah, it's a must listen to, or must read if you consume it that way.
I really did gain a whole new level of respect for Kevin Feige,
Oh,
and I didn't think that
same.
was possible because of what he's already accomplished, and just how, he not only he was very much like the second coming of Steve Jobs, and, he knew how to put on a show during these, press conferences and stuff like that. He also learned from the mistakes of others and paid attention to what the consumer really wanted and what the fans wanted. And it's so difficult. We see so many examples in Hollywood of these big blockbusters that are really a product of a committee. There's multiple hands, and this book really sheds light on that Marvel Studios is no different. Yes, it's Kevin Feige, this and that, but Kevin Feige had to fight his battles with other studio executives and, that holy trinity of Marvel production. I think it's Vittorio Alonso, Kevin Feige, and some Louis Esposito, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
that's correct.
those three right there, and just how they, the three of them together, with a trusted committee that they self-appointed, just what they were able to accomplish. And it's we spend a lot of time, those of us who follow this kind of stuff, scratching our heads at Sony, thinking back to the dark universe with Tom Cruise and what that was supposed to be with the mummy and all that. And it's just it's really hard to replicate that, and it makes me agree that yes, Marvel did change Hollywood for the better, but it also changed Hollywood for the worse because it set a bar that other studios tried their hardest to replicate but couldn't do it. And that's not Marvel's fault, but it just made the studio executives and even the audiences be like, "No, this is the way to do it." And it's like, "Well, you're never gonna do that." You know?
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, I'm glad you read it. I'm glad you liked it. That's pretty awesome. And, yeah, if you haven't heard about it or haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend you should, especially with, the high that Marvel's riding right now, both on their streaming and soon to be theatrical with Deadpool and Wolverine, which, we all have so much confidence
Yeah,
on.
absolutely. And again, I think the official title of the book is The Reign of Marvel Studios. And I just want to give credit to the writers, Joanna Robinson, Dave Gonzalez, and Gavin Edwards. So
Yeah.
check it out for sure.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you enjoyed the book.
Yeah, by your recommendation, by the way.
Yeah.
Your recommendation.
All right, well, let's get into some of these topics because we really do have a lot. But I want to first backtrack before we get into news that broke today. It's a heavy, heavy news day. Let's talk last week. There was this short film that released, and it was a kind of a spin-off one shot of Spider-Verse movies. And it's called The Spider Within, and it tackles a very relevant subject in today's society. How Miles Morales, who again is just a kid, having to deal with the anxiety and pressure that comes with being Spider-Man. And it's a short movie. It's like 7 minutes. Mainly stars him. Also features, the dad, which I like. I like seeing more of those two together, the father son. And it really goes into some dark places, man. Um, the animations that they showed with the spider and how all these little spiders are crawling on him and how he's battling himself and putting himself under so much pressure. And then it ends with him finally embracing his father and, like, "Hey, dad, can we talk?" and then it ends beautifully on that note, and just sends a message that, you can't, there are people you can talk to. And if you think you don't, you'd be surprised until reach out to someone. And, I thought it was really beautiful. I was really moved by it. I actually sat in silence for a few minutes because it hit me that hard. We all deal with our own different types of, struggles, whether it's physically or mentally, especially. But what do you think about this short, The Spider Within?
Yeah, I first of all I was very surprised to see it. I'm sure like everybody else. I didn't know this was coming. It kind of just dropped out of nowhere. Uh but I appreciated it for what it was. When I first watched it, I was a little underwhelmed because I thought that uh I thought that it was like, oh, this is gonna give us some insight into the next movie. Like that's what I thought it was. Like, and I went into it, I watched it with that kind of mindset of like, oh, it's gonna give us insight into the next film. And I thought it was like a in between thing. I mean, obviously where he ends up in the next film, that wouldn't necessarily be possible, but I thought it was something like that. But then I kind of read what it was for, and they kind of teamed up with an organization to do this. That kind of helps with mental health, and like they make mental health focused lesson plans. And I think it's like Kevin Love funds new mental health, yeah, something like that. But
Mhm.
anyways, the purpose of it was to like encourage youth to like not be afraid to talk about their fears and anxieties that they have and things they're going through. And when I look at it through that lens, um, I really enjoyed it. Especially like the organization, they like if you go to the video, they have links to like lesson plans for educators and stuff related to this. And
Mhm.
like those Spider-Verse movies and Miles Morales are huge impact on the culture, especially like
Yeah.
Black and Brown community. So from that perspective, it's really well done. Especially because like obviously he's a you know superhero, superpowered being. He's dealing with stuff on his
Yeah.
own level, but basically highlights that we're all going through something, and you might think you're facing it alone, but hey, his dad's right outside the door, and he built the courage to say, hey, can we talk, and went outside and talked. So, and the things that people face can be on different levels, right? Like
Right.
some people can be facing some extremely tragic stuff, but some people are just dealing with day-to-day life stress, and both need attention, um so yeah, it was pretty impactful. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Um Again, it's Sony, their animation, for all their faults on live action with this IP, they're just killing it with the
Hmm.
animation. And they got
Yeah.
something really good going. I hope they don't stop. This was a very powerful one, and really enjoyed it. So let's talk about something else that we've been enjoying on a weekly basis, and that is X-Men 97. Now we're gonna go over the past two episodes again because the stream ended early last week. But man, talking about the last week's episode, the introduction of this guy right here, Mr. Sinister,
Hmm.
who for me has always been just a background character, somebody just okay, he looks kind of cool. But he was just always there. And in this one, he is really present. I mean, you want to talk about like what he does, just tearing apart the mansion by making these X-Men characters hallucinate, um manipulating the clone Jean Grey
Oh yeah.
to give up her and Scott's son, and then what he does with the baby, running
Oh
tests
yeah.
on it, putting it inside the experiment tube. Oh my god! I'm like this episode got really dark, man. But it was
Yeah, and that's
also
Cable.
yeah, it's
That's
Cable, right?
Cable, yeah.
Nathaniel Summers.
Mhm.
And the way they tie that in, Bishop's like, finally, I can go back to my timeline and I'm going to take the baby with me. So he was meant to take Nathaniel into the future. And, the rest is, I guess, history, even though it's.
I always wondered how that worked. Like, why is their son in the future? Because I didn't know how it happens in the comics. I'm guessing
Mhm.
this is somewhat close to the comic book story because it's easier to adapt those more faithfully on animation. But it was cool to find out, at least in this continuity, how Cable ends up in the future. I always wondered how that worked because obviously Scott and Madeline Pryor, not Jean Grey, are from this timeline or like this
Yeah.
time.
And that whole, when after the episode, I did a quick search and I'm like, oh, Madeline. Okay. Wow. I like what they did with the character.
Because I always thought Jean Grey was the mother of Cable, but I mean, a clone of her is,
Yes.
but so it's still like Jean's DNA is
Hmm.
created the
Yeah.
offspring. Yeah.
No, that was pretty damn cool, man. And Storm is still out there, which I guess we'll go into the next episode that kind of ties
Yeah.
the second half. But this week's episode 4, um, Sunspot and Jubilee get sucked into a game, and I don't know if you noticed it, but there's like Easter eggs all over this first half of the episode, man. Just the video game cartridge is the one from Sega Genesis of X-Men.
Ah,
When
nice.
I saw that, I was like, "Holy crap!" Because like that was a game that I played so much on the Sega
Yeah.
Genesis. And then the game that they're into, it's very reminiscent of the X-Men arcade game, if you ever
Oh,
played
yeah.
that.
For sure. Of
And so I was just
course.
like, "This is so cool," like
Yeah.
how do they find a way to just really pull on those strings of nostalgia and just get us to just geek out, and like the way they implement all this stuff, and the story behind it, the meaning for Jubilee, it's like a coming of age, because it's her birthday, and
Hmm.
like her older self that's been trapped in a game like has a reminder of all these things, and what's really important. And then of course, her birthday is, getting to hook up with Sunspot and those two becoming a thing now. But how did you
Yeah.
feel about that first half of the episode?
Yeah. So I will say in general that, okay, I enjoyed episodes 3 and 4. Um, and four has two parts, obviously. But I will say, and I kind of have to like put myself in the mentality of like, hey, even though it has us, you know, people our age interested because we grew up on this, obviously, I would say, I mean, it's still made for kids too. They still make it, the original show was made for kids. It's in the same spirit of being
Mhm.
made for kids. To me, episodes 1 and 2 were like epic, like mind blowing, like super deep, had a lot of, political implications and things like that. And I was like, oh my goodness, is every episode going to be like this? This is incredible. This is like the Winter Soldier in animation. Like I was like, not literally, but it was like I thought the storytelling was that good,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. And then we get to these, and these are more comic booky, more Saturday morning cartoon, you know, episodes, which the original series is very much like that too. So I kind of had to wrap my head around it a little bit. Took me a little bit more time to wrap my head around it, but I did enjoy them still. They were a lot of fun. I just felt like episode 3, it rushed through the Madeline Pryor stuff. Because I mean, I did some research too, and like apparently, like all this happens, but she becomes the Goblin Queen like over time. And to me, it was so weird how they, the reveal is made, and then it's like, oh no, all of a sudden now I'm the Goblin Queen, like right away. Like, I, from what I read, she goes through a long transition to get there. Like, but obviously, it kind of felt like a movie in one episode. Like they told a whole story in one episode.
Yeah.
And then we get into episode 4 with the Jubilee stuff, the Montendo stuff, and it was really fun. But again, very out there. But then I'm like, okay, relax. You're not judging, an Oscar bait movie. You're watching a superhero cartoon. And I'm like, when I think of it that way, they're really fun, very enjoyable, and they still have deep meanings. Like there's still a lot going on, especially like you said with Jubilee. She's, turning 18. It's like, and she wants to go to the arcade, right? And Magneto's like, you're too young for that. Like it's time to grow up, basically. And then she kind of goes through that revelation throughout the episode within the video game. So that was done well. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Once it got going and she started going through the different levels and stuff, and she fought like video game Magneto, and it was like the final boss level. And it's like I've been I've been playing like Donkey Kong Arctic Freeze on Nintendo Switch for like 4 years. I still haven't beat it, and it's because I cannot get past these boss levels. It takes me like over 100 tries to beat some of these boss levels. And it reminded me of that because you have to wait until they're like vulnerable and then jump in and hit them and then back out and dodge all their hits, jump in and hit them. So that was a lot of fun, honestly.
Yeah, they touched on that. Jubilee's like, I gotta just wait for the cycle to break and then attack. And then the episode switched up to, I think it's called Life Death Part 1.
Yeah, Life Death.
Forge
Yeah.
and
Is it
Storm.
Life Death or Life Death? I don't know. I don't remember.
Life Death, something like that. But anyways, Storm is on a journey to get her powers back, and Forge is doing everything he can to help her, and also admitting his love. So he's clearly doing this because he really cares about Aurora. And so that episode kind of ends on a cliffhanger.
Did they know each other before they met in the
Yeah.
in the bar?
Yeah,
Like, oh, so they've known each other, right, for a long
I
time?
believe so. Yeah.
Oh, it is Life Death. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say I thought they just met. For some reason, I thought they just met in the bar that day. But yeah, I mean, Forge is a known character, like a known mutant character. Yeah. But yeah, that was.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was. I liked that part a lot. See, that Storm, the Life Death part, it was on par with episodes 1 and 2 for me. I thought it was done very, very well.
Yeah, and now it's left on a cliffhanger. I mean, if I had to put money on it, she gets her powers back, and I'm very curious to see how that is. Maybe that machine that Forge built for her and put her through, it has a delayed effect. So like her powers are slowly coming back.
Yeah.
She's got to be patient about it.
There's no way they bench Storm this whole series. No way.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, with the respect that they gave her in the first, 2 episodes, Omega, and
I can't wait to see Storm in the MCU, whether it's the Halle Berry version, which obviously there's rumors we're getting again, or whether it's, I think we'll get Halle Berry and then we'll get a new Storm eventually in the MCU.
Yeah.
And I can't wait.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's going to be like Captain Marvel level powerful, which is going to be, but in her own way, right? Like they showed in this show. Yeah.
I can't wait. All right, so let's go over to DC and talk about some news that happened today. One of the more anticipated projects, especially for James Gunn, is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This was announced as a part of the Chapter One of DCU Gods and Monsters was the title, and we got some news earlier this year that House of Dragons Millie Alcock will play Kara Zor-El. She's the one from season one who appeared in the early episodes. I forget her character's name, but she often, had disagreements with her father, and I guess she had an entanglement with Matt Damon's, not Matt Damon, what's his name? Matt Smith's
Oh yeah.
character. But she was a really good standout. In fact, a lot of people who were fans of House of the Dragon wish that they didn't do a time jump because her character, the way she played her character was just so good. But she's going to be Kara Zor-El. And now they have a director for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and one Craig Gillespie. Now, this guy is best known for Disney's Cruella, starring Emma Stone. Uh, Directed Margot Robbie to her Best Lead Actress nomination for I, Tanya, and did last year's Dumb Money. It's a movie that was based on the GameStop and the stock, how that kind of drove up and hedge funds lost a lot of money. This guy is going to be the director for Supergirl. I'm sorry, the Hollywood Reporter has this guy directing Supergirl. So, Jacob, how is this project shaping up for you? And the direction that they want to go. In fact, before you answer that, there's one more thing I have to read. This is from James Gunn back in early 2023. He said, "We will see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, raised on a rock, a chip off Krypton, and who watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life and then come to Earth." So you hear that, you see who's cast for Kara, the director. What are you thinking about this project?
I am more excited about this than I thought I ever could be. I don't know if you saw Keith actually is trying to get in. I guess he has the wrong link, so I can keep talking if you want to check on that. But so I love the casting for Supergirl. Very stoked about that. But is it Craig Gillespie?
Yep.
When I heard the director news, and I was like, I had to IMDb him, and I saw his directing resume, and I instantly was like, yes, because there's 3 movies in particular that I either love the movie or it shows me that he's the right choice for this Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie. And seeing that he directed I, Tanya, which is a great movie, great performances, and look at the performance he got out of his lead, got her an Oscar nomination. Cruella, which is an amazing movie. Emma Stone is incredible in it. And getting another great performance. Like when I watched Cruella, I thought back when it came out, I said she can get nominated for this. I don't think she did, but I thought it was a worthy performance. And then I just watched Dumb Money a few months ago. And I love that movie. It's so good. And so this guy is a great director, and he's helmed several projects with, getting great performances out of the female lead. And I think if this actually, is official, I think it's great news. On top of that, hearing what you said about James Gunn and his comments on the differences between Superman and Supergirl. So I was a fan of the Supergirl show on CW, and Melissa Benoist as the character. Uh, Not a great show, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And they actually, at some point in the series, they go to that rock that she grew up on, and there's still people living there, Kryptonians living there. So I learned a little bit about that rock. Obviously, in the CW, it was very lighthearted and stuff, but that's interesting to because now I'm imagining it in my head like you can have the beginning of Man of Steel Krypton scene, but from her perspective and how that piece of Krypton broke off and they lived on there for over a decade, and then how that all happens. And I'm like, that is fascinating. I can't wait to see this. I'm so glad they're putting that James Gunn and DC Studios are not afraid to put Kara Zor-El on the spotlight.
Yeah, I guess she's gonna be making an appearance in Superman.
That's right. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, I mean, I love that direction. Don't try to replicate Phase 1 again. We just talked about the dangers of studios trying to copy the MCU. Just do your own thing, and just go with the established universe. Audiences are ready for it. They are well informed about how these comic book things work. It's going on 15 years now, 20 well over 20 if you include the Spider-Man and X-Men movies. Keith, what's up, man? How you doing? I guess I sent you the wrong link, buddy.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. I'm like, why am I?
Y'all just need to sign in StreamYard, okay?
Well,
how am I going?
I don't know who's responsible. But anyway, yeah. No, I agree. Yes, I was actually going to mention that when we were done. Like, we got to sign. I needed to sign my device in. But yes, how's it going, guys? Jacob, did you feel an earthquake? Apparently, we just had an earthquake.
Did we?
Apparently, my mom called, and Kevin both called. They live downtown. They're like, "Did you feel that?" No. Like the whole house was shaking. I guess there was an earthquake somewhere, like a 4.4 or something somewhere.
Oh my goodness! I heard something like fall, or I heard a noise, and I was like, "What is that?" But maybe that was it.
I didn't feel it at all. But anyway, that's everyone not in California watching. That's how it is here.
And apparently, it's freezing and raining too.
It really is. It's like 41 degrees outside.
God damn it!
80 the other day, and now it's.
I don't want to go back there. God,
it's supposed to stop. But
it's going to be warm again the rest of the next few days, but just for some reason today, the temperature just plummeted, and there's a massive hailstorm. Elk Grove is crazy. Weird weather right now, but other than that, I'm good.
Keith, what do you think about this decision on the Supergirl director? I mean, it's a pretty important movie. Okay, DCU, James Gunn trying to establish, the new universe. This guy did I, Tonya, Cruella, last year's Dumb Money about GameStop. Yeah, Millie Alcock from House of Dragon as Kara Zor-El.
Yeah.
Features inspired by the Tom King comic. What do you think about this one? Is it shaping up to be promising?
Yes. Tom King's probably the best one of the best comic writers right now. He's really great. All his Superman and Batman stories are really great. It's a really great one called. I was kind of like, just for myself in my own head, hoping that they would adapt for Supergirl. That's a Superman. I talked about it on Apocalypse, but a Superman Up in the Sky is called, where it takes place almost entirely off. It's just Superman kind of having these adventures out in the galaxy, trying to rescue this little girl who got kidnapped. It's really, really good from Earth. But so I was kind of just, when I heard that it was gonna be, Supergirl, I was like, I hope they take that story, and then it was gonna be Tom King. I was hoping it was gonna be that, but no, it sounds Girl of Tomorrow. Is that what that's what I've heard they're adapting.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
And Jacob, I was just listening to you, and Yeah, that all sounds good. The director sounds good. I still haven't heard you mentioned I, Tanya. I still have not watched that movie. I gotta watch. I started it a couple times, and just like I keep doing. I started. I go get settled in for bed. All right, I'm gonna watch I, Tanya, and then I just wound up.
Yeah.
fall
Have you
asleep
seen
very quick.
Cruella?
I haven't watched that either. No.
No.
Yes. Yeah. Still haven't watched that.
Should definitely watch Cruella.
Yeah. So I've heard good things. So I think this is going to be very good. I'm really looking forward to it. I like Supergirl a lot. She's one of my favorite characters. Just the idea that she's got a little more of an edge to her. I'm not one of those people that Superman's too much of a Boy Scout. There's things you can do with Superman but first of all, that's a good thing. I think the fact he's such a good person is a good thing. I think that's a necessary thing. But he can have an edge to him. But I like a character that is similar to Superman that has a little bit of an edge, a little bit more experience, and that's one of the things I love about Supergirl. That she has that. She's got a little bit of edge, a little bit of an attitude. Because she's a teenage Kryptonian teenage girl. She's got a little more experience, a little more worldly experience, at least in terms of being out in space, being on another planet. So I can't wait to see how they adapt it. I really, and I'm not familiar. She was on Game of
House
Thrones
of the
or
Dragon.
the other one? House of Dragon. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is she good? I don't know. I don't know anything about her.
Oh, she's great. She plays the younger version of basically the lead of the show in the first half of the first season. Yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, sounds good.
Do you guys think that? So she's appearing in Superman, right? So do you think it's just like? I don't think they're gonna rehash like the origin story of Superman again, but like, do you think it's just in flashbacks, like during the Krypton blowing up situation, and then like how they get separated, or do you think she's like on Earth already?
I think I think part of it is diving into Supergirl's young age, because this is the first solo movie. You know how in Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman, how like the first act was part of the first act of the first act was basically young Diana, and then like you saw her quickly grow up.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I think we'll see something similar like that with Supergirl. That similar approach.
So what about in Superman though? Like, what do you think?
Oh, you mean
her
in
role
Superman?
is? Yeah, like, is she going to be on Earth during whatever's going on with Superman, or are you just going to see her like in a flashback on Krypton?
I'll say I think it'll be just prediction, but on Smallville, when they introduced, I don't know if you saw any of the Kara stuff on Smallville, but she was on Earth, and she was she got Lex Luthor found her, discovered her in underwater. I can't remember where. And there's this girl finds out Clark finds out she's Kryptonian, and she just starts being Supergirl, like doing all the Supergirl stuff. And he's like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this?" She's like, "Why aren't you doing this? Like, you should be doing what I'm doing." Like, she's doing, she's being a hero. She's being a superhero, and she's like, "You should be, you should be doing this. Why are you You're just wasting your powers, just running around, on the ground? You should be." She's full on. She's flying. She's got if you see her, she's got everything but the S on her chest. It's basically she's got the red, skirt and the blue top, but there's just no S because for some reason they didn't want to do that. But so I think it would be maybe something like that. Like they had a little bit, they butted heads just a little, because she was mad at him for not doing more. So I wonder if it'll be something maybe similar-ish to that, where she's already established. Maybe he's just getting started, or maybe it could be vice versa. Maybe he's, being Superman and she's starting out. I don't know.
Because she's technically in Krypton, like she's older than him technically, right? But like when you see them, like a lot of times either they look the same age or he looks older.
Yeah,
'Cause,
like
on
time
her,
displacement or whatever. When she
yeah.
traveled here for whatever, she stayed the same age, and he
Mhm.
obviously grew up here, and so yeah, it's kind of one of those situations where
Yeah,
so,
I'm excited.
I don't know.
Well, you got Superman in production, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, developing very nicely. Peacemaker season 2 filming this year. And then
Ooh,
next week we're getting a Joker Folie à Deux trailer. So
ooh.
exciting things on the horizon for
The
DC.
Penguin got the Penguin.
The Penguin.
That looks awesome. I cannot wait for that.
Yes.
I really can't.
Did we talk about that? We had to.
I don't think we did we?
We didn't, huh?
No, we
You know what?
did.
Did we?
We did.
I
Right?
did. Maybe you guys.
Or
I might
did
have,
Keith not make it that
okay,
episode?
I might have been
Or
the one I missed. Yeah.
Possibly not. But
Well, it looks
Penguin.
because
awesome.
remember we were texting about it. It was supposed to be in the show notes, and
Right.
then
All right.
Gio, you're so covered it for sure, but I don't know if
Yeah.
Keith was on or if I was on.
think-
I don't remember.
I think I missed
Okay.
it. I definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it looks awesome. I can't wait. I really can't wait.
Mhm.
That might be my
You know
most
what's funny?
anticipated thing of the year.
Everything you just mentioned are like they're from different universes. Like it's not all like just DCU, which is kind
Yeah.
of cool.
Yeah. I mean, just for the IP, after everything it's been through.
Apparently, too. Sorry,
Go ahead.
I just heard Robert Pattinson is going to be on there too. I don't know if he'll be Batman, but he's going to be on.
I
In
would
the
be
Penguin?
shocked if he didn't make an appearance
Oh,
because
I'm
it's set
sure.
between 1 and 2.
I'm
Yeah.
sure a cameo or something.
Yeah, I can't remember who reported that. I should have noted it, but I heard it on another show. I was like, no, they said Robert Pattinson's going to be on it. Maybe just as Bruce Wayne, but he might. But I don't know. But I don't know, man.
Gio, did you read that article about the Joker? I'm just gonna call it Joker 2. I can't say the title, but
What is it? Foily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a number of things. There's the fact that it's first off, it's going to have a rendition of 15 really popular songs. So it's not a straight up musical. It's going to be like have musical numbers in it.
It's a lot of songs, but
yeah. But I mean, hey, you're talking about Joaquin Phoenix nominated for playing the Man in Black, Johnny Cash, and then you got Lady Gaga.
yeah.
Like they can definitely pull it off.
So I don't know if you guys remember, but I was very reluctant to I was not excited for this movie at all.
Yeah.
At all. For multiple reasons, but one of the main ones is because of like Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn. But the thing for me is like the DCEU was still going on when they announced this. We didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, it's safe to say we're probably not going to see Margot Robbie again as Harley Quinn. I mean, who knows? Because
I have no idea. Yeah.
Somehow, like Peacemaker and Amanda Waller are still the same. So who knows? But now that's in my mind, that's put to rest. So like, I'm actually kind of getting excited for this movie now, a little bit, only because they said they're doing like renditions of popular songs,
right?
And like that's what like Moulin Rouge did, and I love Moulin
Great Gatsby,
Rouge.
Right? Didn't Great Gatsby do that too?
Oh yeah, that too. So I'm starting to get excited for this a little bit.
I'm excited to see that trailer. I want to see. I already know what the look of Gaga is. It's pretty straightforward for her Harley Quinn, but like I want the trailer to show me what they mean by musical numbers. Like give me a little bit of sense of that, So we'll see, man. It's very exciting.
Well, if it's still set in I don't know how. Maybe early or 80s ish still. I'm imagining, I guess. I mean, it could be still kind of in the disco era, maybe.
Yeah.
Wonder if it's, it was New York. I mean, it's Gotham City, but it looked more like New York than any other Gotham City we've seen. So I wonder if it's like that early 80s kind of New York time frame where it's still kind of disco era, Studio 54 kind of.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. So yeah, I don't know, man. Those early days. I went and saw Madonna here at Golden One. Took my daughter to see Madonna. She was telling stories about that time frame, because that's kind of when she left home and moved to New York, and that time era. That's kind of what I imagine. So,
could be exciting.
Compared to a lot. So.
All right. Well, let's go to this other little project releasing called Marvel's Fantastic Four. A lot of news. Let's start with the article, because I'm not sure which one came out first. So Deadline dropped an article, and the article read, Marvel has cast their Silver Surfer, and not just the traditional Silver Surfer. This one is going to be a female, a character by the name of Shala Bao, who in the comics, I guess, is a romantic interest, a lover of the main Silver Surfer. Forgetting his name, but yeah, 3-time Emmy award-winning actress is gonna play the character. And then Marvel dropped something that I thought was very interesting, and I had a lot of people pretty much, if not speculating, confirming that Galactus will be in this movie, because you have Silver Surfer. That means you're going to have, in some form, in some capacity, the character's boss, which is Galactus. So here's what Marvel Studios tweeted out. Happy 4/4 day, because it's, Fantastic Four. And let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger right here. You got Johnny Storm right there. That is first official look, not like live action, but like that's what we're gonna get. Yeah. You can see the stripes around the 4 right there. Costume. Yeah. Apparently it's very accurate to the classic comics. But then look at that down there. Look at the city right there. That is not 60s New York City right there.
No. Yeah,
that is along the line of the Jetsons.
Right.
Very futuristic. I mean, Tomorrowland.
Interesting.
I mean, if it were just regular, ordinary New York City, why wouldn't they put that? No, they didn't. I mean, right. Look at that design right there, the architecture right there. That is not of this world, which means it's a hint that this could be set in another universe. Yeah. Which would explain possibly, why they went with a female Silver Surfer. This is their opportunity to do that. So you got this right here. They also included a link. So let's click on the link. And I believe the character's name is Robbie, the robot. And it says,
"Oh, is what? Okay.
Page not found. Maybe Invisible Woman has hidden the page. Maybe try later. Or maybe there is more to this page." And if you look at the robot's hip right there, you got a QR code. You click on the QR code, or you scan it on your phone. It says Future Foundation. Delegates, we are glad you could join us. To prepare for the upcoming meeting, you have been granted access to read these issues on Marvel Unlimited. Ooh. And they have Fantastic Four, number 1 from 1961. Fantastic Four, number 48. Fantastic Four, number 49. Number 50. And Fantastic Four Life Story, number 1 from a few years ago, 2021. Now, the one on the top left, of course, that's the original, but number 48 right beside it, first appearance of Galactus in Silver Surfer. I mean, I don't know about you guys. What more do we need? The Galactus. I can't believe it. We're getting Galactus in this movie, which at first I was just like, that is a big swing,
Yeah,
which
it
I
is.
appreciate. You don't want to waste any time. You want to choose Galactus, but I would think Galactus was a like a big bad phase villain.
He's the boss at the end. You know.
Yeah.
Last
Wow,
villain the MCU should ever face. Like,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, kind
or
of.
the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. Yeah.
You guys couldn't see the comics. I'm sorry. Here, let me bring this up.
Oh no, we couldn't see any. Like, I couldn't see anything past the tweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was just me. Yeah, okay.
There we
I didn't say
go.
anything.
I'm sorry, guys.
I was
Wow.
gonna
No
say, I
worries.
can't see it. Okay.
Yeah, when I clicked the link, it opened up a new tab, and I wasn't
Okay.
during that.
Life story.
So
Okay.
there it is right there. There's the 5 comics right there. And you know, the one in the middle, the introduction of Galactus and the Silver Surfer. And yeah, that is basically our confirmation right there. I mean, you need Kevin Feige to come out and say it, like, yeah, Galactus is in this movie, or
I'm guessing
why-
they drew
Go ahead.
inspiration from all of these, is what I'm guessing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna read these. I can't, you know, I can't wait to check these out right there.
I kind
But
of want to also.
it got the internet speculating, and one tweet that I saw in particular raised the question that, you know, you're introducing Galactus in this. It's going to be set in another universe. Is this how the Fantastic Four comes into 616? Because Galactus ends up destroying that world, destroying their world, and they end up in the main MCU sacred timeline. I mean, what if Galactus wins?
That's a good. Yeah.
And yeah, and then they're brought from the 60s to present day, a different timeline. And then that's how you get the male version of Silver Surfer and another version of Galactus that's out there somewhere. I mean, it's all fascinating, guys. What do we think about all this? The casting of Julia Gardner as Silver Surfer, seemingly confirmation Galactus will be in the movie. That, or let me scroll down again. That city right there.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. I just, you know, when I heard 60s, I was just like, oh, why? No, I just, you know, but if they're going to do it like this, damn, take my money.
Well, it could be that a futuristic 60s, like The Incredibles. That's supposed to be set in the 60s. You know. Could
Yeah.
be one of those. Yeah, like you say, Jetson style. Or no, I don't know what. Who knows what Jetson is, but yeah, this is I'm very. Is this next year, right? Next what, July?
Yep. 2025.
Yeah, 25.
Wow. Okay. So, well, it's cool that all this is finally, after all these years, this is finally it's happening. You know, we're getting imagery, we're getting news, casting, like all this stuff is cool. We're getting like they're making this movie. Yeah, the Galactus, like you said, the Galactus thing. Like you said, that's a big swing.
Oh, nice.
That is Robbie the Robot. Yes. So Robbie, I guess, will be in the movie, I suppose. That's pretty funny. But you can see here, I actually have Fantastic Four #1.
Oh, what?
A reissue, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But yes.
It's like that should be locked up if it's.
If this, I'd be, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. This is cool. The Silver Surfer thing, that's cool. Listen, the Silver Surfer is not just, I saw just reading all the stupid comments. Of course, why would reading comments? Of course, you're gonna see, but reading comments on social media, people who don't have any idea that, first of all, Silver Surfer is from a race of beings where there are males and females. First of all, so literally any of them could be Silver Surfer. I think this one was his wife.
Yeah.
What I understand, yeah. The one.
So you gotta wonder, like, well, what if the roles are reversed, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. I think it might be a reverse situation where maybe the world of Zen. What what? I should have it. What, Zen La? I think it's called, or Zen whatever, Zen Lar, whatever. Was destroyed, or maybe she offered herself to stop Galactus from destroying it, or one of those things. I don't know. I don't know, but it's cool, And Galactus has had lots of different people be his herald. I know I used to have this Thor omnibus where Galactus, as he often is, was about to destroy Earth, and Thor gave him the Asgardian destroyer got loose. Loki set it loose on Earth, and so he couldn't stop it. So he had Galactus, look, take this thing as your new herald, because so that he could free Norrin Rad, Silver Surfer, and you can still have a herald. Please you take this thing to be your new herald. If you spare Earth, I'll let you have this.
So. Got it off of Earth too, like
right.
Killed 3 birds with one stone.
Exactly. Yeah, it was really, really good. I wish I still had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited about this, man. I want to see that stuff. I want to see all the weird, cool, silly, like the flying, a little bit of the flying. They did it in the last movie. It was stupid, but the flying cars.
Yeah, I think they're leaning towards a separate universe because they can't say that's the regular Earth's 60s necessarily. And look, it's not far-fetched. Everyone understands what the multiverse is now. We've already seen a different Reed Richards. It's going to make sense when they do it. And I'm actually down for Galactus because, and look, Galactus is going to they're going to get an actor to play Galactus. And it's going to, let's say hypothetically, he could become like the giant thing. He's going to have different forms. Like he's going to be able to come down, like turn himself into human form,
which he can do, and he's done that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not going to just be a giant. Like what are those things from the Eternals called? The
Celestial.
The Celestials. Like, I mean, we'll probably see that version.
So he's going to do that, but
yeah, for sure. But I think like when he's dealing with, I think we'll see an actor playing him on Earth, like human size, talking to Reed Richards and stuff. Like, so I think they're going to do it justice. And so I'm excited for that. And look, a lot of people might be like, no, does that mean we're not getting Dr. Doom? I'm sure there will be at least a Dr. Doom, presence in this movie, whether it's a cameo, a post-credit scene, or just referring to him, whatever the case is, as long as it's Leonardo DiCaprio, I'll be happy.
Or Adam Driver.
And yeah, I wouldn't be against that. Yeah, so because I think that, look, I don't think they're gonna. They could defeat. I don't think they're gonna defeat Galactus in this movie.
I think Galactus destroys their world.
Yeah, I mean that's very possible. And then they go to the regular timeline. Because that's what Galactus does, right? He eats planets or whatever. He, destroys planets. So that makes a lot of sense. And then but do the Fantastic Four just like, oh, we're out of here, like, and they just them four go, or like them four somehow get off Earth? But
maybe the negative zone. Maybe they get stuck in the negative zone for some reason.
Or the
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
very true. But I do think, like, I think that Galactus is gonna be like a villain that is like for this movie and use him when you need him. But I think Doom is gonna be an overall larger MCU villain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that's why they're not using him as the main
Agree.
antagonist in this. And but I still think he's going to be involved somehow. So looking forward to that. And then as far as like the casting for Silver Surfer, I mean, I'm not familiar with her work. I never watched Ozark. Obviously she's I think she's been Emmy nominated like 3 times and won one. So like obviously she's a great actress, and there's literally characters in her characters from the comic books, and so like people can't complain. Oh, they're gender bending. Like, no, they're not.
Yeah, you're right.
They're
Exactly.
actually not. They're not using that iteration of the Silver Surfer. That's all.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Just
I'm
making the
stoked.
Silver Surfer somebody else.
I don't want to get too excited for this movie because
Too late. You're already
we've
excited.
seen what I know I am, but we've seen what happened before. Like I
Yeah. I thought about that.
And at the same time, it's no longer like, oh, Kevin Feige's undefeated. That's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
He's made they've been putting out, like mediocre to bad movies recently, with some great movies. Obviously, Guardians 3, Shang-Chi, a lot of great movies as well. But it's like the thing is, so there's a possibility where this movie's bad, but I think it's gonna be good.
They know though, with Fantastic Four, like that's the flagship Marvel, team.
Yeah. And I believe in the director too.
Yeah, and
The
they
director
know,
of did he direct all of WandaVision or just some of it? I'm not sure.
well, they know they can't.
And he directed some of Monarch, which is
okay.
great.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that.
Which I did want to talk about this really quick before we wrap up, Gio. But
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, I love all this news. I'm excited. Cannot wait.
They're not going to mess up a third time with Fantastic
You guys
Four.
know we're getting this and Superman in like the same year, the same summer.
Yeah,
it's gonna be incredible.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Man.
Thunderbolts too, right? Is Thunderbolts next year?
I think
Yeah.
so.
And I think New World
Apparently that
Order is
movie's
also
actually
next year.
Which one?
Like Thunderbolts and New World Order also come out next year, I believe.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. I think
Oh,
you're right.
yeah.
Captain America 4 and
Brave New World.
Oh, is it Brave New World? What did I say?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
New World
It used to be-
Order
It was New World Order.
was the
Oh, they changed it?
Yeah.
mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They changed a lot about that movie. That movie
Apparently,
went through some serious reshoots.
well, apparently, like I mentioned in the text, apparently Sebastian Stan's not in it. Apparently, so I don't know.
Who? Oh yeah, Sebastian Stan. Yeah.
Yeah, surprised to hear that.
Because
But like I said, no, they're not going to mess up a Fantastic Four a third time. They know they have to get it. They have to get. If they don't get anything else right, they have to get this right.
This is the one they have to get right. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, you can mess up that movie, but at least you have Deadpool and Wolverine, carrying you through most of the movie. This one right here, I mean,
they're not going to let a third go around with Fantastic Four. They're not going to let it.
The property is basically, if they ruin it, it's basically done for a long time. For a long time.
Yeah. Jacob, I want you to talk about Godzilla vs. Kong, but real quick, Matrix 5 is in development. Drew Goddard is going to be writing and directing a new Matrix movie. Apparently, Warner Brothers loves the new approach that they're going to take with the franchise, one that honors what was started 25 years ago. And wow, that's right, this year is the 25th anniversary.
Just this past weekend was the past Friday. Yeah.
Oh my god, I wish we did those anniversary trailers. Damn,
we should have. We still can. Maybe we should do that. We should. Do that. Any excuse
And
to talk
we also have our first look at Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster in The Bride.
oh, I didn't
Um,
notice.
damn.
Oh wow.
Any thoughts on these two, Matrix 5, Christian Bale, and The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yep,
Is she in it?
probably. You know how directors are usually actors who
Yeah,
direct
yeah.
are usually in the movies as well.
Interesting. Is she playing Bride of Frankenstein? Is that what it is?
Probably, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Ah, I didn't know this. I
That's
didn't know about
But
it.
interesting.
man, Christian Bale, any movie
Yeah,
he's
right.
in, even if it's Thor: Love and Thunder, like this guy just
Oh, he's given 150%. You know that. So it's
yeah.
yeah. I wish
Oh,
they would have.
he's a real actor.
You're
Yeah.
right.
hmm
Right. So whatever he did, I wish. Apparently, they cut out a bunch of stuff that he did in that movie. I would have. I wish. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't want to. But yeah. I'm all Matrix 5. Let's go. I'm in. I'm all over that.
How'd
Drew
you feel about
Goddard.
Revolutions? They took a big swing with Matrix Revolutions and the whole video game of it, and uh,
I don't.
That's
I don't.
it's a spoof movie, right? Kind of
Well,
feels
see,
like
that's the
it.
thing. I don't. I don't know. I don't
there
know
were
if they
some
were
things I
trying to
did
say.
like about it,
They're
like how they
saying,
updated the technology, and you don't use phone booths anymore; it's all wireless.
yeah, but
But
there was none of the action. The fighting wasn't. I didn't like the fighting.
yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't anywhere near what we got in the original. And it's not just that we've seen everything since then, but didn't feel like any of the. Yeah, I don't know. None of the
I'm
you
stuff
had
that.
optimistic
Keanu
about
Reeves.
this new one because it's Drew Goddard.
Yes. See, and that's the thing I was going to say. I hope that I'm glad that they're taking a new approach. New filmmakers are tackling this. If it was the Wachowski, one of them again, I don't know if I'd be. I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. But the fact that
Lana
Drew
Wachowski
Goddard,
is executive producing, but I mean that's probably just
That's
because
fine. I
that's
mean,
fine.
they
It's
she
their thing.
has to.
That's,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they created all that, so that's fine. But Drew Goddard, man, come on, yeah, that's great. So I'm happy to see a new approach, a new vision from somebody else, and I hope they let him whatever idea he has. I hope they let him do it. So I'm curious about it. I don't know if it's new. Sounds like it's going to be new characters.
yeah. No word on. I think Keanu's done,
Yeah,
and
yeah, right. I'm kind of thinking that too. Even
yeah.
though, well, the end of the last one, which was basically the same as the end of the first original one, him and Trinity are like super, super Neo and Trinity, and like they've
Yeah.
got. So what can they? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, but
I think that storyline's done. I mean,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
he's the one and all that, and you had a chance to bring back what's his name, Agent Smith, who plays him.
Hugo
God,
Weaving,
Hugh
which
Weaving, and
that was a
didn't do
mistake
it.
not bringing him.
Lawrence Fishburne was
Mistake not using
missed.
him too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Hmm.
But Jacob, you saw a movie this past weekend.
I did, yes.
A monster showdown. Godzilla X Kong, a new empire.
Yeah, the new empire.
The new empire.
Frozen Empire.
The new
All these
Frozen
empires.
Empire strikes back, yes.
Well, take it away, man. What'd you think?
Yeah, just real quick. Like I've said, I'm very into this MonsterVerse, and I mean, this movie's exactly what I expected. Like, dumb human story. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's not why I'm there. I'm there to see the monsters fight, and there's a ton of that. So it's on that level. There's so many monster fights in this movie, and just like between Godzilla and other kaiju, between Kong and other apes.
Yeah.
Kong and Godzilla fight again, and it's very enjoyable on that level. But like as a narrative, didn't really work. I had some hope because Monarch is so good. Like it's the human story in Monarch is amazing. And obviously there's very limited kaiju in that show, but you still see Godzilla and other kaiju in Monarch, but obviously not on this level. So I was hoping like they would incorporate some of that, but it's still like it's no better of a story than any of the other Godzilla, Kong, MonsterVerse movies. But I definitely like as a theater experience, incredible. Like just you have to go watch it in theaters. It's like it's just an experience on that level. It's incredible. But like I said, they honestly I don't even know why they waste their time trying to make it so complex, because the storytelling with the humans, whatever's going on with them, is terrible. Yeah, so
Apparently,
I enjoyed it.
it's really great in Godzilla -1. Like that's the
Oh, and I've seen Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
See, so that's the thing that takes place during like World War II era. So
Yep.
like it's just Godzilla,
right.
and Godzilla -1 is amazing. Like as far as a movie, Godzilla -1 is way better than any of the monster verse movies.
Right.
Like yeah, and Godzilla's great in it too, as
Yeah.
far as the action and the destruction and all that stuff. So
Yeah. I heard he's like a mean Godzilla. He's way.
oh, he's an a-hole for sure.
Yeah. Is
For sure.
is this show what is Monarch?
It's on.
I know I know what it is, but like is it
Yeah.
is it related to is it actually related to this? set
Yeah,
of
it's
movies,
in
or-
the universe. Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
in the universe of the Godzilla Kong universe, and like it's that Godzilla in it.
Oh.
Yeah, and you see him throughout different time eras, and
Oh.
yeah, and
Okay.
they go in I forget what the world that Kong lives in is called, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that world underneath our Earth or whatever is like a huge presence in that show, and
Really?
it's so good. And what's his name? Like Wyatt Russell is amazing in that show. And then the girl from Shogun is like arguably the lead of that show, and she's great. I saw her in Monarch first,
Right.
and then when I heard she's in Shogun, I was like, wow, like she's a great actress. So
Yeah. She is.
it's
Okay.
yeah, I recommend it. Like it's very intriguing. It's on Apple TV, I believe, Apple TV Plus. Yeah.
But they don't. It's not referenced in the movies, though. Is that?
It's other than Monarch, like other than them,
that.
like that's the same organization.
Stuff.
No, but the thing is, it takes place like in like 2015.
Oh, so it's just after.
Yeah, so it's like right after the first Godzilla movie.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think they're gonna catch if they continue, which I think they are. I think they're making. I mean, it did well in the box office opening weekend, and the director said that he has an idea for another Kong Godzilla movie. So I think they'll catch up to each other. I would hope.
Yeah. Right. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys are interested in watching Godzilla X Kong, watch it on the big screen, IMAX if you can, or XD. Grab a beer. It's got to be better than the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight that's coming up and being shoved down our throats. I mean, come on now.
Sure.
And I think that's it. You guys got anything else for the stream tonight? Anything you came across?
Let's see.
I want to leave a little open mic at the end in case you guys got anything you want to talk about, anything you saw.
Shogun's amazing. Incredible.
Shogun.
Yeah,
It
incredible
is.
show.
Must
I remember
watch.
the miniseries. Well, because my mom really liked it when I was a kid. I have vague memories of the miniseries. But this one, I mean, the show's. I mean, honestly, it's incredible. And I'd like to maybe try to read the book sometime too. Speaking of that, I did want to say, Kevin, my son, he's obsessed with Dune Part 2. He's seen it like 4 times.
Nice.
I wish I hadn't. Just reflecting on our discussion about it, I kind of wish I hadn't read it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did. It's pretty dense, but I think that when I was talking to him about it the other day, because he went and saw it again this past weekend, but they're gonna change. I think they're gonna change it. I was comparing it to the It movies, It Chapter 1 and 2. where there's a lot of weird stuff that they took out, like that's in the books that they did not do in the movies. And I think they're going to take a similar. This studio will take a Warner Brothers take a similar approach with Dune, Messiah, and apparently this Dune TV series, which I had no idea was coming out this year. It's all shot and everything.
Oh, the Benny Jesuit one.
Yeah, I didn't know about that at all. That sounds incredible about the origins of the Bene Gesserit. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be really good. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Actually, after Dune Part 1, I didn't care about that series, but after Dune Part 2, I really want to see that series now. Like it made me way more interested how they're manipulating everything and like what they do with like the Austin Butler character and all that stuff is fascinating.
Well, yeah, because they've just been for just centuries and thousands of years just going around different planets, planting this idea of different messiahs among different cultures and stuff. And, or it's the same messiah, or who knows? I have no idea.
And it's always the question like, are they really manipulating the universe, or is the prophecy true? And they're just they're part of it.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a lot, but it's very intriguing. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
Oh yeah.
I just realized today is the 10th anniversary of Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
What?
It's been 10 years.
All right, you know what? Wow. Maybe next week we should talk about that.
Since the movie came out. Time flies, man.
10 years, yeah.
That movie was such a game changer.
Blown away. I remember being just like, what?
Oh my God. Like, I mean, definitely the best solo MCU movie.
I still have that as my number one.
I mean, yeah, you could do the first Iron Man.
Yeah.
You could Black Panther in the discussion.
Yeah.
The first Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, but
I would.
Yeah, I mean, I have Ragnarok above it.
It's honestly close because Ragnarok and Winter Soldier both changed the trajectory of those franchises.
Yeah.
You know, which one did it better? I mean, it's Sophie's choice.
Yeah, it just depends on your personal tastes, but yeah, we've been there. Like it's crazy.
I remember being surprised coming out of it, or right in the middle, but surprised in watching it that they did that the Shield, the Hydra taking over Shield thing so soon. Mm-hmm. You know, I was surprised.
It was pretty soon. Like phase 2.
Yeah. You know, and they'd only had one Avengers movie. You know, and they already went straight to that storyline. I remember being very surprised that they went to that.
I remember how excited we got when Agent Sitwell on top of the roof started naming off all these Marvel Easter eggs, and then we heard Stephen Strange for the first time, and we're like, "Oh my God, no way!"
That's crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. There was a big rumble reaction in the theater when he said that.
And I still think Cap's blue and silver. I think it's the stealth suit.
The stealth suit, yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
I don't know, for whatever reason.
But it was cool. I agree, but I did love when he goes back to the original one.
When he does go back, narratively it makes sense and it was nice. But
That was cool, man. Yeah, I love that movie so much, man.
Man, dude. 10 years.
Yeah.
That means it's the 10-year anniversary of Guardians
of the Galaxy.
It's the 10-year anniversary of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. X-Men Days of Future Past.
Well, Godzilla, right? We were just talking about Godzilla.
Godzilla. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah, was that 2014? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Birdman. Nightcrawler, Jacob?
I believe so, yeah.
That was a hell of a year. No, Sicario was 2015.
Right, that was 15.
But 2014 was a crazy year.
Dude,
it really was.
Man, it seems
Guardians is 10 years ago. That's
Guardians is 10 years ago, dude.
Yep. I remember that distinctly because that we were walking out And that was when we saw that was when you guys remember when Paul George broke his leg in that USA game.
Yeah, that was that same
Oh
year.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
the same day. That's when the
Oh
night
my
day
God.
Guardians came out because my friend was showing it to me. Oh my God, look what just happened. As we were walking out of the theater. That's a horrific injury. Yeah.
Ex Machina,
Ex
Lucy,
Machina, yeah.
Kingsman,
Lucy's pretty good. I like that movie.
the Lego movie. Wow, remember
That was
everything is
2014.
awesome.
Yes, it was.
John Wick,
John Wick. That's right.
dude.
That's right. That was supposed to be straight to DVD. I think.
Dude, 10 years, man.
Yeah.
Time flies, dude. Time flies. Enjoy every
I want to
moment.
see that Dev Patel one. That's like that everybody.
Oh, Monkey Man. I have
that-
tickets for it tomorrow night.
Oh, really?
Hey,
Yeah.
Holy. Hey, yeah, I want to
Yeah.
see that. Yeah, that
Monkey
was
Man. Can't wait for that.
awesome.
Yeah.
I can't
Let's-
wait for Fury. Damn. Edge
Fury?
of
Was that
Tomorrow.
24?
Jesus Christ. So
Oh,
many
Fury
movies.
was that 2014?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Wow. Okay. Yeah. It seemed like that.
I can't wait for Civil War. That's gonna be Neighbors. Jacob, remember Neighbors?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Where are those great comedies now? Nowhere to be found.
Man,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Thelma and Louise.
Oh, that one.
before-
Just the
No,
Jennifer Lawrence one.
Mario
That's
and
pretty good.
Luigi
Just came
before
out last
Thelma
year.
and
That's pretty funny.
Louise.
I never saw that. I want to see it though.
It's pretty funny. I thought it's really good. I can't think
Oh
what it's
man,
called.
22 Jump
No,
Street,
Dalton.
top five.
Oh, Jacob, that's your movie. Top
Jacob,
five.
yeah.
man, that movie will always, man. I'm so glad we saw that one
Great
over
movie.
Foxcatcher, which
You
is
challenged
another.
me to that.
Yeah, I love
that's
that
very good.
movie.
Very, very
Oh,
good.
We gotta watch it together, man. If we all hang out, we gotta watch it for the 10-year anniversary. That
DMX.
movie's-
DMX. In there.
yeah.
That was a big surprise. I gotta get
Crazy.
Man, dude, Whiplash. Yeah, dude. So many. Man,
Oh, man.
so many, dude. Man, I might even just open up a part in the stream every Thursday. Like this year or this week, this movie turns 10 years old or something like that, man. Just so we could reminisce.
Not a bad idea.
Because 2014 is just monster year, dude. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. That's awesome. Well, anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this week's stream. Again, we are Fandom United, a Blockbuster podcast, going live every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Myself, Gio from Fandom United, along with Bartley and Barnes, and you can find our social media handles on the screen right there. And thanks, guys, for hanging out. Another week down. Enjoy your weekends. I will be in town very briefly, but then coming back a week later after I wrap up Nashville. So, we'll get together soon. And for everyone else, be safe. Enjoy the weekend. Still no outro, but it's coming soon. Until then,